Good evening and welcome to Current Issues. I'm your host, Hesham Tillawi. Well, it has been a while now. Today is August 2nd, 2012, and we have been probably running in the last 3 weeks. We have been running nothing but reruns on Current Issues. Well, today we are coming to you live, and it happened to be the 13th day of Ramadan, which is the month of fasting in the Muslim calendar. And to tell you the truth, the fasting, now Muslims do fast for 30 days during the month of Ramadan, and they fast from sunrise to sunset, which is, according to the calculations, it's probably from like around 5 o'clock in the morning until about 8 o'clock in the evening. So right now, actually at 8:01 today, it changes from day to day. It changes like a minute or so, less than a minute actually every day. So today just happened to be that we are breaking the fast in the beginning of the program, because at 8:01 this evening, that's when Muslims in Lafayette and Acadiana actually breaking their fasting. And so you will have to excuse me that I do have to at least break my fasting by taking a drink of water, because I have not had any in my system for the last 15 hours. There's nothing like water, especially when you are thirsty. And I will also eat one piece of date. It's good to get a little bit of fiber. So if I was at home now, it will be like all kinds of food, and everybody will be like, you will not hear a word, because everybody will be hungry and everybody will be going at it. So we fast a little bit different. So this is like, you might, in this area you have Lent, for Catholics. So it's very much like Lent, except we do it in a little bit different fashion, where you don't eat, you don't drink, nothing all day. Now, of course, that's the physical part of fasting, which is to, I guess, the wisdom behind that, so you can feel with people, with other people who may not have food or water, not because they're fasting, but because they don't have it at all. So you will feel with poor people that if you imagine if you go a whole day without food or water, imagine people going more than that because they don't have food or water. And but that's not what fasting is all about. Fasting is not to actually torture you. Fasting is cleansing of your soul. Fasting, you're supposed to fast not only on food and water, but also on other things. Like sometimes fasting, it's supposed to remind you of how to stay in line as a good human being. Don't lie, don't steal, don't cheat, all these good stuff that religions normally promote. Well, when you're fasting, you're not only fasting on food and water, but also you are fasting on not doing some of the things that you normally do but you did not think about, or you don't normally think about. Like for instance, punching in your time card 10 minutes before, or punching it after. Well, that you're doing something wrong, but fasting, it makes you stop. And by doing that, so everything that you do, that little thing in your head that says that's wrong, then fasting, it's supposed to be the guard, or the watch guard, to not to do it. It kind of reminds you that I'm fasting, so I'm not going to punch that time card in, or I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to backbite somebody and talk about somebody. I'm not going to do things that, hey, you're not supposed to do. So during the month of Ramadan, and that's where we are in the middle of, that's what Muslims do. Now, many people, they just fast on, not taking food and water, but that's not good enough. You're not going to get the rewards if you just fast on not eating or drinking, but you're supposed to actually abstain from doing things that you normally do. Anyway, that's the fasting, and you know what? I feel much better now because I do have a little bit of life in me, and God said that we created from water, we created everything, every living thing. And I believe it because that little bit of water, it actually put some life in me that I did not have a few minutes ago. So if you don't mind, before we actually start the topic today, I'm going to take a little bit more of life in the bottle. So I can be ready. And then after the program, I will go home and, like we say here, I will pig out. Anyway, I'm not supposed to say that? No. Oh, they're telling me I'm not supposed to say that, but okay. Oh well. Anyway. Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, actually we are going to talk about the presidential race that is only a few months from us. And that's in November. And we do have two candidates that very much go on. One of them is going to be, even though we have more than two, but normally everybody forgets about those other ones because they are irrelevant, and even the media forgets about them. Even though in real democracy, you're not supposed to forget about those other ones, and you're supposed to actually bring their voice or their opinions to the people. That's in real democracy. So people will actually get to see the other opinions and what's going on. But we will concentrate on the big two, Obama and Romney. Now, there's something, ladies and gentlemen, that is so common amongst presidents or presidents wannabe in this country. They can disagree on a lot of things, almost on everything they will disagree. They will disagree on the economy, they will disagree on health care, they will disagree on Social Security, they will disagree on everything. Only one thing they will agree, and they will even be racing against each other, literally, competing against each other on this one particular subject, on who's going to do it better. And that is the subject of Israel. It's like every candidate, or can you remember, even, what's his name, Herman Cain, everybody has to cater to Israel if they want to be in politics, especially if they want to be in a higher office in the United States. They have to go and cater to Israel. Many presidents, while they were in office, or president candidates, or even president nominees, they do it. They go visit Israel. Well, actually, it's Palestine, but they call it Israel now, and visit Jerusalem and go to the Wailing Wall. You have seen almost every American president and president wannabe at the Wailing Wall. All of them. Everybody. And we have pictures to show. We've shown you these pictures before. But, this is McCain when he was actually running. This is Bush when he was running. And these are the letters, you write down prayers and you stick it in crack of this wall. They think this is a wall that was built by Solomon. It was not. This is a wall actually that was built by the Muslims. Now, stay on this here. This is Romney. And this is this is what we're going to talk about, is Romney. Romney was there 3 days ago. And the thing is, I don't know. Let's show some of the other presidents, and we'll go back to Romney. Romney went to Jerusalem to cater to these people. Now, Obama did it when he was running, and he did it when he was president. This is Herman Cain. He was only a nominee, but he had to go and kiss the wall. This is Mrs. Romney, having both of her hands. I don't know what she's saying. I don't know what she's thinking. She's probably thinking, I have to be nuts to do this. Now, this is Chris Christie. This is the New Jersey, I think, gay governor that was considered to be as a vice president. Well, he went there. Well, this is Bill Clinton. He went there too. Mrs. Clinton, she went there when she was running for president. Keep going. Well, we're back to this. Well, this is the latest, actually. So when Mitt Romney went there a few days ago, he actually did much better than any other American president who promised Israel something. He did wonderful. I mean, they love him. Now, what did he do? He practically gave them Jerusalem. Now, Jerusalem, in the 1947, you can come back to me now. In the 1947 partition plan, Jerusalem was more of an well, it was not. I mean, it was, they divided Palestine into a Jewish state and an Arab state. And Jerusalem, they said, well, you know what? Jerusalem is for everybody because it's for Muslims, Christians, and Jews. So we're going to make it international. And Israel actually signed on that. They signed when they accepted the partition plan, dividing Palestine into these sections. And they said, yes, we accept it. But now they're saying, no, we want it all. We want Palestine, we want all of Palestine, we want all of Jerusalem. Now, American presidents have been actually reluctant to go along with what Israel wants. Reluctant to say, okay, we agree with you, Jerusalem is yours, is a Jewish city, is Jewish for eternity. Romney did it. When Romney went to Jerusalem, he actually told him that Jerusalem is exactly what they wanted to hear. They never heard that from anyone from any president or president wannabe, American president. Well, Romney did that. Now, why did he do that? Jerusalem is not his to give. But actually, couple of days before Romney went there, Obama signed additional money to give to Israel. He gave them additional $70 million in military aid, while Romney gave them Jerusalem a couple of days after that. He wanted to up the ante for what he's given the Jews there in Jerusalem. So President Obama gave them $70 million, and he even said it. He said, and he thought, hey, you see, if some of you saw a couple of days ago, when he talked about the $70 million, an additional aid to Israel, additional military aid to Israel, what did he say? He said, oh, we're giving Israel an additional $70 million. Oh, I beg your pardon. He said, I meant to say, or corrected himself and said, oh, $70 billion. Well, no, he was right the first time when he said 70 million. But he thought, 70 million in his head. Now remember, this president has been given stimulus here and stimulus there, and given the bankers $80 billion, and given Wall Street $120 billion, and given this, so his brain doesn't work in millions anymore. So he said $70 million aid to Israel, and he said, no, it's $70 billion. But actually it was 70 million. But 70 million is not pocket change. Maybe it is pocket change when you are given hundreds of billions of dollars and you are pumping this economy, this failed economy and falling economy with hundreds of billions of dollars, and it's not doing anything. So $70 million is a lot of money when you don't have it. But you know something? It's not his to give. So it doesn't matter what he gave. 70 million, that's fine. We'll give him 70 million. And then, so he gave them something that didn't belong to him. It belongs to the American taxpayer. And actually the American taxpayer doesn't have it. So he added more debt. More debt to the society. Now what is Israel going to do with this $70 million? Well, what Israel does best. Military gear. They're not going to buy the playgrounds for Palestinians with that money. No, they're going to buy tanks so they can kill more children, so they can bomb more cities, so they can get that's exactly what we are doing. United States aid is giving the Israelis military gear to kill and bomb people. Now, this is a billboard actually right here in the United States that says, stop killing children, no more military aid to Israel. Stop30billion.com. Now, what is stop30billion.com? Well, that is something that's actually happened, that we give Israel $30 billion worth of military aid over 10-year periods. We gave them that in 2009. We said we're going to give you $3 billion a year in military aid. It will not go down. That's what we guaranteed them, that we will give them $3 billion every year over the next 10 years. And that's what the $30 billion is. Now, at a time when Americans are scraping the penny jars to make ends meet, we go and give these people $3 billion with a B. And in addition to that, a couple of days ago, Obama gave them $70 million more. That is not including the $1.5 billion we give them in economic aid, as if we have money to give economic aid. And that is not the loan guarantees. That does not include the loan guarantees that we guarantee them $2 billion every year in loan guarantees that the United States Congress guarantees them, that we never get back. So why is it? What is it about Israel that makes every American president or president wannabe thinking that he will only remain in power, thinking that he will only get that power if he kisses butt to those people? Why are these presidents, why are these two people who are fighting over the presidency kissing butt to Israel? Why? Very simple. It's not because they are good for our economy. No, they are a drain on our economy. They are an obligation on our economy. It is not that they are good in making peace in the world. No. They are horrible. They're nothing but wars all over the Middle East. And they even dragged us into more wars in the Middle East. So, what is it? Why are we fighting over them to please them as President of the United States, as President of the most powerful office in the world, as the President of the most powerful nation in the world? Why? Well, simple. Unless those politicians please the Jews in Israel, the Jews in the United States will not be pleased with them. And therefore, the Jews in the United States, if they are not pleased with these politicians, they don't stand a chance. Take, for instance, Ron Paul. Ron Paul is the greatest nominee for president was. Ron Paul said, he's an American. He's for America. He's not for Israel or any other country. But you cannot be elected. Why? Because if the Jews of the United States, they're not pleased with you, and they will only be pleased with you if the Jews in Israel are pleased with you. And by the way, many of them hold dual citizenships between Israel and the United States. And these people are in very extremely high ranking positions in almost everything. In the media, if you are not their darling, forget it. You don't stand a chance. They will tear you down. They will destroy you. And you know, politicians, they're scared to death of those people. They are scared to death of anything that, say, like anti-Semitism, because the only thing they will do is, oh, he's an anti-Semite. He doesn't like Israel. Oh, you don't like that Israel kills children? Well, you better find a way to explain that to your people where they will even like it. That's how we're going to like you. You better say the right things about Israel. Otherwise, if you criticize Israel, then you are an anti-Semite. And if this charge, if this label is thrown on somebody, if it's thrown on somebody, they're dead. They're gone. Forget about any political career if they throw that label on you. Media. So it doesn't matter. Now you remember those pictures from Gaza a couple of years back when Israel basically killed, within 1 month, they slaughtered 1,300 Palestinian men, women, and children, mainly women and children. And a year before that, they slaughtered hundreds and thousands of Lebanese children. You've seen those pictures at that time. We showed you those pictures at that time. But yet, no American president or a politician, a congressman or a senator lifted a finger to help those people or say that Israel did something wrong. No. They did not. Look what they have done. They destroyed whole neighborhoods. We did not see American politicians say, we need to save the civilians. We did not see any American politicians say, oh, we need a regime change there in Israel. These bastards there, they are killing children. They are destroying homes. They are destroying neighborhoods. We did not. Because no one brave enough in the land of the free and the land of the braves, no one is brave enough to stand up and say, Israel, you're wrong. Because if they would have done that, they would have been called anti-Semites. So that's why American politicians, they will shower Israel with money, your money, taxpayers' money. Israel can do no wrong, because no matter what Israel does, the United States will be there to stop the world from criticizing Israel. It's not that they will be brave enough to criticize Israel. No. They won't even let others criticize Israel, they will use America's influence in the world to stop the criticism of Israel around the world. And we have seen them do that. So, go back to the same question that we asked a while ago. Well, why do American politicians, they like to go there to Jerusalem? Now, you know, these guys, I don't think politicians are religious. They're not. They might act as if they were, but they're not. Because no one fears God will go and actually do what they did in the world, around the world. They will find different ways to solve problems. Do you know how much money we spent on the war? Do you know how much money we spent on the war? I guarantee you, if we spend that money influencing people peacefully, we will own the world. Trillions of dollars. You know, I was thinking about it. You know, we give Israel $3 billion. You know, we are right here in the United States, we are about 330 maybe, 330 million, maybe between 330 and 340. So 340 million people. Imagine if the United States government would just give $340 million to the people in this country, where everybody will receive $1 million. 340 million people, $340 million. Can you imagine what you would do with $1 million? Well, a billion is 1,000 million. That's the American billion. So a billion is 1,000 million. Imagine. And we give these people $3 billion every year just in military aid. So going back, why do they go and kiss butt to Israel? Because if they are pleased with them over there, that's why Romney and Obama, they compete against each other of how they can do better on that issue. But on other issues, they are like that. On this issue, they are like this. Even they are butting heads of who can do more for Israel. Because if Israel is not pleased with them, then the media here that is controlled by the Jews in this country, and everybody does not like it when I say controlled. Sometimes, and I even had on this program Senator James Abu Rizq, who said, no, it's not controlled by them, it's influenced by them. Well, I mean, now we're playing with words. I like to use control because I really believe when you are influencing somebody, you are controlling it. And don't forget that guy with CNN, John, I can't think of his last name now, when he said on an interview, and he said, he was asked about, Jewish in the media and stuff, and he said that, and he was a very good anchorman for CNN, and when he said to Dominique, that radio guy, he said, they're all over the place. When he asked him, are they in CNN? And he said, yes, they're all over the place on CNN. He was fired. John Sanchez, that Cuban-American anchorman. And we know what happened with Helen Thomas when she was ambushed in that interview, and she said something about Israel. She was gone. 60 years of service in the White House. And she was the dean of the White House Correspondents. She had a chair named after her. She was gone because she said something about Israel. Politicians know that. Many people in the media know that. That's why many people in the media, they got to go with the agenda. And the agenda is, the media in this country is Jewish influenced, if you want to be on the mild side. And therefore, if they influence the media, you cannot be a politician if the media is against you. So you got to please those people there. That's number one. Number two, let me tell you something. It takes millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars to run a campaign. If Ron Paul had the money to actually buy into the media, where he would offset that huge gap between him and the other candidates, because the media shut him down and they made fun of him. If he would have had the money to do that, then I guarantee you that Ron Paul would be the candidate now, not Mitt Romney. Or Newt Gingrich. I don't like the guy, but he ran out of money. Or like that other guy, I forgot his name. Well, you know, all of them. All of them ran out of money. They did not have the money. It takes millions of dollars. Well, guess what? When was the last time you, the little guy, and you, I consider you the little guy, because the big guys, like these Jewish billionaires that are given, like that Jewish billionaire, Goldstein or something, that gave Newt Gingrich $10 million, and now he's given Mitt Romney because he wants a Republican. That's the big sharks who contribute. Not you with your $10 and $20. You cannot run a presidential campaign on your $20. If you did give them, but I'm sure probably most of you listening to me, you did not give a penny to any presidential campaign, right? You know it. So where do they get all this money from? Well, the people with money. Now, who has the upper hand on money? Needless to say, who controls the money in the United States? Who has the money to give by the millions? You make the conclusion. And then, in addition to that, then you have the political system that we have. Because these president candidates, they run within a group of people. And this group of people has to be, it was molded over the years. It was molded to do exactly and please exactly those people. Because remember, it's not just presidential candidates that wants to please those people, those Jews in Jerusalem, or those American Jews here, the Jewish lobby in the United States. It's all the politicians, the whole political system. Because you're not going to get the good job. There's a lot of influence there too. Because the guy who paid the $1 million will pick up the phone once you are president and say, hey, I got a buddy of mine. Find him a ambassadorship somewhere. Or let him be one of those 3,000, 4,000 people that you as president will actually nominate in those managerial positions throughout the bureaucracy. Because, you know, the president, he has positions that he actually nominates people to in the military and in the government. They get to change these managers and junior managers and put their own people in there. That system is being molded to go along with the bigger picture. They're pleased with you in Jerusalem, then you are okay. Then you're going to be within that bunch. But if you're not, they're going to get you out, just like they have gotten many congressmen and women. Cynthia McKinney went criticizing Israel. She was canned. Many congressmen and women, well, not many, few actually, because many, that means there were many who actually went against the current and they were not. There were only few people who went against the current. And and they're gone. If you go against Israel, they're going to get you out by supplying money to your opponents, and it was done in every case. They tried to do that with Ron Paul. Ron Paul is an exception. Ron Paul, they have tried. You see, that's how they did Cynthia McKinney. That's how they did Senator James Abu-Razak. That's how they did many of the, I interviewed Jim, forgot his last name. He was with me a couple of years ago. He was an ex-congressman that he, on a live show, it's kind of hard to remember these names because it's a live show. And you don't have the, I guess, the pleasure of sitting there trying to think of his name, even though I'm doing that now, but it's not working. And so you have, the senator or the congressman from Illinois. He wrote a book. Probably many of you know who it is. But anyway, that's what they did. They pumped money into the other guy's campaign, and these people lost. They can't do it against Ron Paul because Ron Paul is solid in his district in Texas. They turned the media against you. That's exactly what they did with Cynthia McKinney and the rest. They will turn the media against you. And if they can't get you that way, they will fabricate something and throw you in jail. And they've done it before. They've done it before. But, so now, do you blame them? Well, if we have a democracy, yeah, we should get them out. Because our politicians should not be pleasing another power outside. That's treason. That is treason. If somebody is influencing our politicians, that is treason. Especially at a time when we don't have the money. In 2009, we gave them $30 billion. We told them, hey, look, we guarantee you. I guess that was the price of Obama making it. And, I really believe that Obama is going to be the next president of the United States. I believe that because his job is not finished yet. Because if they wanted somebody else besides Obama, they would have got somebody else besides Romney. It's just like what they did with Obama and McCain. Now, McCain, when he ran before, not with Obama. Now, McCain, he ran for president probably about 3 or 4 times. Now, when he ran before, he was the first one out. Because, and I always said, if McCain was the only candidate on the ballot, he will still lose. So they knew he was a loser. And to make sure that he's a loser, they went and got Sarah Palin for him. It's like, look, we want to guarantee this thing. We're going to take Obama. We're going to pump money into his campaign. We're going to make him a media darling. And, you always gobble this up. That's how your brain works. You watch Fox and CNN and all these networks. The differences between these networks, even though you find that they're different, but the differences are on the domestic thing because they're different markets. They cater for different people. Like MSNBC caters for different people. Caters for leftists, liberals, Democrats. Then you have Fox Network. They cater for right-wingers, Republicans, Tea Partiers. And then you have CNN who thinks they are, we got both. Because, there are people who don't want to be on that extreme, they want to be on this extreme, and they go this way. And the same thing with ABC, NBC, CBS. All of them, they have like their own product to sell you. So, you gobble it up, and you believe all this stuff, but they can make a president. These people are in the kingmakers jobs or business. They can make a king. They can take anyone, turn him into a president. So, in my opinion, it is not going to be Romney. Just wait until the election gets closer and you will see what the media is going to do. Now, he went there and gave them Jerusalem because he's desperate. Somebody told him, look, this issue with Jerusalem, every American president got away from not actually giving it to them. Many presidents said, yeah, we're going to work to make Jerusalem as your capital. Well, no American president has done it. No American president has done it. Now, that's what they want. Now, this guy, Romney, because thinking, you know what, I'm not going to make it. So somebody, because he did not go remember when Herman Cain went, that was during the nominations when there were like 10 or 11 of them on that stage. He went to Jerusalem with Glenn Beck. Because Glenn Beck also, if he did not kiss butt to those people in Jerusalem, he will not be on the main networks here. And all of these media guys, because they're influencing that. They're not going to get somebody like me on CNN, I guarantee you. I guarantee you, if they got this show on Fox or CNN, this country will be totally different. Because people will know the truth. People will get to know another opinion, an eye-opener. But they don't. They will not have. And by the way, there are many, I'm not the only one with this opinion. There are thousands of American hosts on radio and TV, but it's not on the main networks. So we have people listening to us in our regional markets. We happen to be one of the first people who actually took a program and made it into an internet, since we've been doing this for about 10 years now. We have been offering our program, and now we offer this program on the internet live, and we do have people from all over the world who actually watch this program. And it is available after that. But hey, we don't have the millions of dollars to spend on production. We don't have the millions of dollars to spend on staff. We don't have the millions of dollars to spend on products, on equipment. But I can tell you one thing. We are competing. We are competing for your brains with the networks. We are competing with Fox, and we know we got many of you will watch this show and believe it before they believe Fox or CNN. I have been told this many times, numerous times, from you on the streets. On the streets. I meet a lot of you on the streets. Actually, it was, we have about 10 minutes left. Actually, I was at a compost facility last week. That's where you go and bring your branches that you cut off your trees. And and this nice old man, as soon as I came out of my car, or my truck actually, he goes, "Aren't you that guy on TV?" I said, "Yes, I am." And he had gotten out of his car, and I met him. We shook hands, and he told me how great the program is and how much he loves the program. And then his wife, his little old lady, was sitting in the car, and he said, I forgot her name, but he said, "Hey," he called her by name, "look who's here." And they were happy, they were excited. And these people were, I can tell you, they were not, well, since you want to be racist, because many of you, and well, no, not many of you, but some of you think, well, what do you expect, No. Those people were from here, white Americans. Actually, I think they were Cajuns. And they were excited. And he said, I've been watching your program for a long time, and I believe everything you say. He said, you have opened my eyes on many things. You opened my eyes of how to be an American. And let me tell you something. You do not deserve democracy if you don't protect it. You know, we always heard that, in World War II, they died so we can have our freedom and democracy. Well, I tell you what, democracy right now is being hijacked. Democracy right now is being hijacked by a foreign power, by money right here in the United States. Money that John Kennedy wanted to stop. He wanted to stop the Zionist Council of America. He wanted to stop that. That is a Jewish organization, a Zionist organization that was basically buying influence through our political systems, buying our congressmen, bribing our president. He wanted to stop them. Him and his brother Robert, they're almost dead. They both died. They both died trying, because Robert was his attorney general. And they brought these guys and they wanted them to register as an agent of a foreign power. This act actually was, it's an old act that was in the 1930s to prevent German agents from actually influencing our politicians. So Congress came up with that act, the Foreign Agent Act, and that's exactly what it is. It's, if you are representing a foreign power, you need to be registered as a foreign agent. Now, as a foreign agent, you cannot contribute to political campaigns. You cannot do political campaigns and political activities in the country that would be on behalf of your country against the United States. There's a lot. Go read it, the Foreign Agent Act or the Foreign Agency Act. So, well, Robert and his brother John wanted to actually do that with the Zionist Council of America. They could not. They died. Right after their death, the Zionist Council of America, because the problem or the issue, the case was already in the court systems. They changed the name to AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, that today owns Washington, politically speaking, that today influences Washington. The same people who were in the American Zionist Council or Zionist Council of America, the same people, they shut down that and they started this AIPAC, American Israel Public Affairs Committee. Today, they are in full operation. Today, they are buying our politicians. That's not our democracy. We as citizens, what we do when we go and cast our votes, we legitimize a crime. We legitimize a crime that we believe that those who died in World War II died so we can have the freedom and the democracy that we have today. But if it's for the highest bidder or he who has the most influence, then it's not a democracy anymore and it's not free anymore, but we go and legitimize the theft of our democracy with our own hands. We go into the ballot box and we choose one of those two. One of those two, it doesn't really, technically, that's how tight they designed this thing. Technically, even if they wanted Obama, which I think they do, but let's say that somehow they did not think about something, and normally they're tight with their planning, but let's say somehow it was Mitt Romney. No big deal. No big deal. Because actually, there were some secret recordings, and we played some of these secret recordings years back of two Jewish. One was a money guy, and the other one was the political, I guess, I don't know what they call them in politics, but it's the guy that actually goes around and buys all these, the lobbying, but there's a different name for him. They were talking, and they were talking about Tennessee at that time, and they were talking about the congressman there, the congressional race. And they said, well, who are we pushing for there? Isn't this guy strong? That guy's stronger? What about if this guy loses? The other guy says, hey, it doesn't matter. We got both of them. So it doesn't matter if it's the Republican or the Democrat, they got both of them. And to me, you see with your own eyes, Obama gave them a lot. He gave them $30 billion for the next 10 years. And no American president can actually undo that. Okay? Now, where the heck are we going to get that money when we are broke? I have no idea. I have no idea. Just as like I have no idea where we're going to get the $70 million. But I want to go back to what Obama, when he said 70 million, and he said, no, 70 billion, because the guy doesn't really, these billions and millions, when you are giving away so much, your brain doesn't really function well, and you think $1 billion, so $1 billion, nothing. But anyway, that's very much what we have tonight. It is basically our political system. And now you ask me, okay, what do we do? You're sitting there and saying, okay, Hesham Tillawi, what do we do? How do we get out of this? I don't know. I wish I have the answer. I used to think the answer is by educating people. But the answer, I think the only answer is going to be that when enough of you know the truth and know how it works, then you'll be able to change it. But as long as only few of you, and they know this, when only few of you believe what I believe in, then they're fine. Then they're fine. And that's exactly the problem that we are facing. So how do we get out of this one? This is being built over 100, 150 years. 20, 30 years ago, they used to be in the background. It wasn't as obvious, but other presidents did, by the way. Other presidents catered, but it was in secret. And the Israelis and the Jews, they accepted it, but right now, they are in your face. You better do it. You better do it. Now, I'm not giving you so you can, have some. It's not that I have something for the Jews. It could be the Italians, it could be the French, it could be anybody. But this is a foreign power. I'm giving you the information, and you go check it out. Go see what Israel has done for us, that we have to do all this for them. Nothing. They spied on us. They killed our people, 1967. The Liberty, it's still there. The Liberty ship, the USS Liberty, they killed our people deliberately. Economically, they're not good for us. We're giving them money for nothing. Are they protecting us? No, they're not. We don't need their protection. We can do our own protection. But they are definitely have found a way to actually get us. They found a way to have us go and actually fight wars for them. Anyway, that's all we have for you. That's all the time we have. And until we see you next week. Actually, no, not next week. I'm sorry. Now we are doing it first and third Thursdays of the month. First and third. So we're not going to be on next week, but we will be the week after. Remember that and tell all your friends. Good night. Go do the right thing. And that is all the time that we have for you is only few seconds, and 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.